Hey guys, I'm back. Thanks to my amazing husband, I was able to get another microphone last month. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to do any recording between then and now, but here I am. I can do it again. Hopefully, with everything going on, I don't know that I will be able to do this every week. I'm trying to shoot for every other week. I think I've been just a little bit off consistency in the last month or so with doing it every week. Just a little bit. But posting every week. But I plan on trying to get back to recording and doing this as well every week. Unfortunately, finding time to do this with my current sleep schedule is not easy, but I will be making the attempt. So today, for talking, I don't have anything super exciting to talk about because I haven't had any ideas, which has been part of the reason I've been straying away from recording things as much. But I plan on just, probably rambling here for 45 minutes because some of you seem to enjoy that more than just listening to music for some reason. But that's okay. Do have some things I want to talk about. But first of all, with this Speedpaint in particular, I do need to warn you that there wasn't a recording of the background because I had some really bad issues trying to do the background. There was almost 4 weeks between the recording and the finishing of the actual character and the shading, and then doing the background, because I kept just trying to do it and wasn't able to, and every time I was like, oh, I have everything done except for this one bit. Thankfully, my customers are very understanding, so it's not a big deal that it took that long, but it still sucks to me to be that close to finishing a piece and my customers being that ready to hear it, and then I don't got anything. But, so the background and the lighting effects I both did last night. I am recording this the day I am getting ready to post it. Doing great. But what was I gonna talk about? Oh, something that I heard that bothered me, specifically about speed paints, which is why I'm bringing it up today. That was my cats. They may be getting rowdy during this, and I apologize. Because they sound like they're getting rowdy. Waiting for my husband to come home. Anyway, the thing that's been bothering me, and it's been on my mind for the last couple of weeks as I've been trying to want to get back into doing this, is that I was watching another art YouTuber, and I heard her say, well, speed paints don't work anymore. They don't matter. They're not... You can't make anything off of them. But one of my favorite things to do is to watch other people's speed paints for learning purposes, for just watching other popular artists do their thing and get to enjoy seeing their process versus mine, that kind of thing. So it's really disheartening to hear somebody say, especially somebody who's been doing YouTube as an artist for so much longer and so long in general, to say, oh, well, I'm not doing this anymore because there's no point in it. And that's just really frustrating. So that's part of the reason I've been kind of hesitant to come back into this. I've been fighting myself a lot with whether or not I'm going to continue to do speed paints versus just throw something out there. I don't know. I don't have a lot of content outside of these speed paints. I do plan on at some point in time doing my intro to Clip Studio Paint, since a lot of the last speed paints you guys saw me do was in Psy, and then suddenly I've switched to a completely new art program, but I love this art program so much more. It's just so much better, and I don't understand why people still use Psy. Not only is it more expensive, it's not updated anymore. It's just not as good, honestly. But there's a lot of assets, like in this video in particular. Most of the ones prior, you don't see me play with the 3D models because I was trying to figure out what I was doing before I started the video. But for this one in particular, the customer had given me an idea for a pose and that kind of thing. So I went ahead and added in the, well, not added in, but I went ahead and recorded me playing with the 3D models and making the correct pose. And there's a couple skips around that you can't really see of me talking to the customer, coming back and fixing it a little bit just so everything was comfortable. I found that OBS has this great pause function on the recording, and it has been both my favorite thing and the worst thing, because sometimes I'll forget to unpause it. Like in the last video, there's just a lot of me pauses to go like mess around on my phone for minutes, comes back, does not unpause, shades an entire arm, unpauses. Oh no. God, I'm bad. I'm just so happy to be getting back into recording. I don't know, like, I've been trying my best to remember to record absolutely everything that I've been working on for the last few weeks to make sure I'm getting content and stuff out to you guys. Unfortunately, I don't have anything after this because it was such a slog and struggle to get this done, but I did just finally close my Twitter raffle, so I should be working on that very, very soon. I made myself a new really pretty character and maybe bought a couple because I have a problem, as do most people as artists. But then I also have some merch ideas. I have one of my merch ideas that's kind of old I'm planning on redoing very soon. Some of you may know that I opened up a thread list this year. Because of everything going on, I've been trying to branch out, and I think that at some point in time soon I'm probably gonna close my old Redbubble store because I just don't make money on there. Especially, I think that they stopped again doing payouts until you're at $30 or more, I believe. It's either 20 or 30. I can't remember. And that's a lot. Especially for somewhere like Redbubble, where unless you're selling the duvets, you're getting maybe 30-40 cents per item, maybe $1 for shirts or two. But even then, like, they, between the amount they take plus taxes plus the amount, just the base price, you're not making very much. I think Threadless is pretty similar, but I'm willing to try something else. Because I've had Redbubble so long, and, like, they don't do... One of the things I like about Threadless is that they do, like, customizable artist shops. And I don't like that you don't get that on Redbubble. All you can do, I believe, is, like, put a couple of different things out into different portfolios, so to say, and then you have an icon on a banner. Kind of like Patreon. But Patreon... Ooh, excuse me. Patreon is more understandable that it's that way. You really don't need to customize stuff when you're just posting around whatever you post on Patreon, which for me is works in progress. Full finished pieces, up to 2 days early, most of the time. Custom art for my Patreons, who are paying more than $5. Shameless plug. I am so awkward, and I forgot how hard it was talking into a microphone, especially for a time more than 10 to 15 minutes. So I apologize. There's a lot of there's a lot of rambling, and I don't know what I'm doing anymore. But, hopefully, as I get back into it, that will be less bad. It's particularly bad since I didn't pick a topic for this one in particular. So I'm kind of just going with whatever my brain thinks of, but I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna make it to the full length of this video, so you may get music for some of it. Sorry, guys. I do not know what I'm doing. I think my entire quarantine at this point has been sleep, Animal Crossing, and work. In that order, from most to least amount of time doing. I really haven't done anything outside of that. Ooh, but I do have something I can talk about, which is the amazing convention that I started this horrible time off with, which was Blue Ridge Fur Fair back in March. And I honestly have to say, as a first-year convention, they maybe went a little ambitious with the space that they had, but best convention I've ever had for sales, for sure. One of the, it reminded me a little bit of my first year at ASE, Anther Southeast, where it was just like the group of people running the dealer's den. It just made it feel like a family. But it helped this time for Blue Ridge because we went as a squad. There was 2 dealer's dens split, and dealer's den B, I think we had 3 or 4 people that weren't part of our dealer squad, and like they weren't bad people. I don't mind these people, but like our squad, the like 6 or 7 of us that were in there that all went together, did so well. And I honestly, if you ever consider dealing as a vendor, I highly recommend that you take all of your friends. Like, if you deal as a vendor, I recommend applying with friends and making sure the vendor, like, in your application, that people know you want to sit with them. Because not only does it make you that much more comfortable with being at a convention and you know, selling, I have found that it also helps because you start to vibe with your table neighbors, especially if you already know them. More so if you already know them. Sometimes you don't if you get randos as your table neighbors. But like, yeah, if you already know them, you just start to vibe and you guys are like heckling each other and you're heckling the customers and the customers are enjoying it. And you find that overall it's just a much better experience, not only for you, but for everyone around you. But then also, it's easier to get sales this way because if you have, say, a group of, in our case, like 6 artists, if one person starts to get full, which this was the first time it's ever happened, I had to close commissions on Friday night. I got everything done Friday night, but like, I would say 3 or 4 hours into the dealer's den, I had to close commissions and just stop. Because I was maxed. It was the best feeling. I've never ever felt like that. I'd never had people buy prints before then. I actually sold some of my older prints and my older buttons. I had a whole new setup for all of my new buttons, because before I made a set of new buttons and then I immediately punched them all into buttons. And I regret doing that because now I have a huge tote full of buttons that I'm still struggling to sell all of. So, but now that I have this, I have 2 little boxes, I think, full of like the paper round inserts for buttons. And then two of my different friends have button makers that I've been using. And it's made my life worlds easier. And I'm hoping that I might be able to invest in one of these button makers sometime by the end of this year. So when conventions do start to come back to next year, I'm going to be applying to everything. Everything I can, at least. I know for a fact if Blue Ridge does end up having their convention in the beginning of the year next year, I will be there without hesitation. We've been talking about doing Bewhiskered, which is new this year, but I personally don't believe there will be any conventions this year, but we all applied regardless. What else? I will be back at FWA next year, despite what they're doing with being a little shady this year. Even if they downsize, I'll still be there. I still have a registration for next year because I just rolled mine over. I would rather roll mine over and not have to buy it next year versus getting $15 back. Anyway. What else? What are their cons for next year? Hoping that next year I get back into Anther Southeast Steelers Den, because I don't know, this is its third year. I really don't know about trying to go and do the Artist Alley. I got waitlisted for this year, and they suggest you apply for the Artist Alley, but I know that I have too much stuff for the Artist Alley, so I have to hugely limit what I'm bringing, which limits the amount of sales I can make, which is not easy. It's not easy to go into it knowing you have to limit everything that you're bringing because you just don't have enough space. I have been begged. A lot of my return customers have been begging me to come anyway because they insist that they will still buy from me, but I don't know if it's enough because that hotel is one of the more expensive hotels for it being an early convention, unfortunately, which isn't its location. It's not their fault. I just don't know about trying to get back in if I don't get a dealer's den table, which is fine. I know there are a couple of other conventions. I think I put this in the Convention Horror Stories one, but I will never return to Midwest for Fest. I think... Oh, right. I also got invited by a friend to do both Megaplex and FursonaCon as Artist Alley for this year. But like I said, as I don't believe they will be happening, I will probably do both of those next year if I can. I would love to be able to travel that far to do a convention, and with just doing the Artist Alley, it would be so much less prep, and it would be a lot more fun for me. And I'm honestly looking forward to that possibility. I got all new equipment this year in the realization that I was, right before Blue Ridge, I had gone to like Michael's and done a bunch of shopping and searching, and we had purchased a couple of things, such as I got a new carrying case for a lot of my art supplies and that kind of thing. And I was so excited to get to use these and like go ahead with this. I had like 6 cons planned this year. Such is the life of a vendor in the year of 2020. But next year, gonna be extra good. I promise. I'll be everywhere. Well, maybe not everywhere, but I'm gonna be in a lot more places. That's exciting. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to cut it off here because I don't know that I have anything else to ramble about. But I appreciate you all for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, as it not only helps me out, helps me grow this channel a little bit, and if you do that, there will be raffles and such in the future. I am nearing 100 subscribers finally, and I would like to get a lot closer to that 1,000 mark for monetization so that I can consider moving towards this as a more regular platform to be sharing content on, as currently it is more angled towards me doing stuff on Patreon and for Affinity and that kind of stuff because I have to be making active money. But I would love to push more of my videos, or more of my time in my videos, onto here. So, again, thank you all for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate every single one of you. And hopefully I will be back to do this again soon. Thanks.
Thank you.